name is Matt Wetmore. I'm a first-year choral conducting master's student. I also have a master's in composition. My musical background is the pretty standard, piano lessons as a kid, band through middle and high school. I also did children's choir as a young lad, but I kind of gave that up, and when my voice changed, I was like, well, it's obvious that I can't sing anymore, so I'll stop doing that. And then I rejoined the choir world in the latter part of my undergrad degree, and I was like, oh, turns out I really like this quite a bit better than band, so I think I'll stick with it. Invictus and nata Lux are kind of total opposite ends of the spectrum. Invictus is a lot more crunchy and jumps around all over the place. And it was kind of the first piece that I'd ever done in that kind of style, certainly for choir, and that was most people's introduction to my choral music, most people in chorale. So when we started passing out a new piece from Matt Wetmore, I could sense the dread in the room, but nata Lux is much simpler, much more straightforward, tuneful, tonal, and things like that. That's a good question, and they asked me that last year, and my answer was, well, I just don't know, I just like it. But I think I have a bit better idea now. When you have choir, and this is true for strings as well, but it's the tuning, I think, or that's a big component of it. You can get such different types of thirds and those perfect fifths, the kind of things you geek out about when you do this day in and day out. You can't do that on a piano, so there are certain sonorities that you play it on a piano, and you're like, well, that sounds awful, I don't like that at all. And then you hear human voices singing it, and it's ethereally beautiful. And I think a lot of that has to do with the tuning. I think a lot of that has to do with just our predisposition to the human voice toward enjoying it and things like that. It is, of course, the most human of all instruments, and I think that plays a big part in why I geek out so much about it, why I'm dedicating 2 years of my life toward it. For me, the favorite memories are things like staying out until 2 a.m. talking about the differences between Australian and American football with Brett Dean at whatever restaurant we were at. Things like that. The concerts are great, and you should come to as many concerts as you can, person coming to the New Music Festival. Come to the concerts because it's such an interesting variety of music, and you get all the ensembles, one right after the other in a week, band, orchestra, electronics, choir. But the big thing for me, the big draw for me, is getting to actually meet the composers themselves. You can program a piece anytime. But it's only when you actually bring in the person, and they always go out for dinner or something like that, and you can actually meet these people and talk to them, and yes, talk to them about their music too, but just meet them as people, just as equals. We're both at this restaurant. There's no hierarchy here at all. We can just kind of hang out, and that is indispensable to me. That is so valuable to have that opportunity. That is the one thing that you could not possibly get anywhere else.